Hi, my name is Adam Zibney, and I did a group project with Forrest Ma. Unfortunately, he's not able to come today or right now. So we chose to research a big topic on the neurology of reward and pleasure. And since it's such a broad topic, we decided to go in depth and research two different ideas, mine including why do we crave sugar, and his on how does music affect the brain. I was interested in this topic because ever since I was a young child, or ever since I was a young boy, my parents, everyone was telling me that sugar was unhealthy and it was just not good for your body. And I never knew why, and I never knew the consequences. So I didn't really care. And for this project, I just wanted to investigate, find out what really happens to the brain and why do we crave sugar so much. So the goal of this project is to spread awareness and educate the WA community on how harmful sugar can be and how benefiting music can be. So sugar causes a pleasant feeling from various neurotransmitters, including serotonin, also called the happy hormone. Cravings, on the other hand, are associated with dopamine and are activated by dopamine and make us want or crave sweet things or want to hear pleasurable music. So dopamine is a neurotransmitter that travels in the brain through neurons and travels through junctions called synapses. Too much of dopamine or too little of dopamine can create unbalance in the brain. So cravings are activated when dopamine is released from the top of the brainstem, also called the ventral tegmental area, and dopamine is released to different spots called pathways to cravings. Pleasure hotspots, on the other hand, are temporarily activated and by various neurotransmitters such as serotonin, and send information back to the ventral tegmental area, telling the brain to produce more dopamine. So this is a picture of the brain, and this is the ventral tegmental area, and the yellow dots represent the pathways to cravings, and the red dots represent the pleasure hotspots. So some of the pathways to cravings include prefrontal cortex, dorsal striatum, amygdala, and the ventral tegmental area. And the pleasure hotspots include orbitofrontal cortex, nucleus accumbens, and ventral pallidum and brainstem. So this is an overview of my presentation. So I'm going to be talking about the evolutionary history of cravings. How do we taste sugar, leptin, artificial sweeteners, and what happens when we eat too much sugar or have a sugar overload. So in the past, sugar was really rare, and especially foods that were rich in sugar, such as honey. And the main sources of energy included carrots, or roots, nuts. They helped us to survive and hunt for food. When we ate, or when our ancestors ate foods that were rich in sugar, or just ate little bits of it, it would give us lots of energy. And when we ate lots of it, not only did it give us energy, but it stored fat for later. And so when winter came upon us and when food was scarce, the fat was used as backup energy or backup food or energy for us to survive. Unfortunately, nowadays, sugar is mass-produced and easily accessible, and we don't have to work as hard for it. So fat builds up a lot easier and results in various health issues. So how do we taste this, and how does it affect our? So taste buds on the tongue, and there are taste buds all over on your tongue and on top of your palate, and there are numerous taste receptors for salty, sour, bitter, and umami. And there's a group of sweet taste receptors called the T1R group of receptors. And they, whenever we eat sugar, the sugar complex binds to a sugar receptor, which sends a signal to our brain telling us this is sweet and this is good. And that starts the process of pleasure and cravings. So leptin. Leptin is a hormone secreted by adipose tissue, or white fat, that basically tells us when we're full, or when we've had enough. And when we eat sugar, it breaks down into two components, fructose and glucose. And when we have high amounts of fructose in our blood, there's an elevated triglyceride levels. And when there's high triglyceride levels, leptin is not able to send a signal to the area of our brain called the hypothalamus. And so this then leads our brain to think that we still need food or need energy, so we continue to crave, we continue to eat, and this leads to obesity and weight gain. And so now I want to compare artificial sweeteners and refined sugars. So artificial sweeteners, believe it or not, are in many of our foods today because they're cheap, easy to make, and have no calories. So people eat it because they think that with the no calories they won't be gaining too much weight. But the problem with artificial sugar is that when we eat it or when we consume it, it doesn't give us any energy or calories, causing us to crave more or need more. Because our brain is telling us that we need energy. And so as we continue, if you continue to eat or consume artificial sweeteners, your brain will start to think that we're starving because we don't have energy. And so then this will result in overeating, and this results in overweight or weight gain. So sugar addiction is the result of eating and consuming too much of sugar and craving it as well. It results in various health side effects, and there's a severe condition called metabolic syndrome, which results in abdominal obesity, which is buildup of fat around the waist, elevated triglycerides and blood sugar, which prevents the leptin signal from getting to your brain, like I previously mentioned, and high blood pressure. And so now you must think, because there's sugar in fruits, they must be bad for you. They must be unhealthy. Well, that's not true at all, because fruits, on the other hand, are filling. They are high in fiber, or for instance, apples are high in fiber, and when you eat an apple, you're filled and satisfied. And this results in preventing your cravings, preventing you from eating more sugar. So now I want to talk about how to prevent, or how I could help you guys to prevent from eating too much sugar. So like I said, or on the previous slide, eat fruit, fills you up, it prevents you from craving or eating too much sugar, and it's healthy for you. It gives you enough energy to go through your day. Eat regularly. I mean, don't overeat. Don't eat to the point where you want to throw up. Eat breakfast and maybe have a snack. Eat lunch, have a snack. Just don't constantly be starving yourself, and just avoid hunger. Quality over quantity. Don't have maybe 20 candy bars because you're just hungry. Have something with whole grain or complex carbohydrates that'll fill you up easily, because it'll prevent sugar cravings, which will then lead a whole chain reaction of sugar addiction and other health side effects. So I want to reflect upon my work, and so I had difficulty or finding relevant info. I would research something like the health side effects, and I go too far in depth with it because, and it's not really relevant to why do we crave sugar. So I had some trouble with that. Transitioning my slides, I still know I have to work on. And graphs, I really wanted to include graphs in my slides, but I had some trouble finding like concise and easy to read graphs that could be good for my audience. So that's it. Thank you so much. Any questions for Tom? Yes. Oh.
How does, let's see, all right, anybody else? Okay, so that was 10:25.
Oh.
Yes, I know.
Is that good? Is that bad?
I timed myself, but I went a little faster than I should have gone. I timed myself at home, and I usually got around like 30 to 40 minutes.
The pace was fine.
I missed some stuff in like the first slide.
Like what?
So like, I forgot to talk about how the brain evolved to learn sugar cravings, and which helped us to like survive, because when we craved sugar, it helped us get the energy we needed, and yeah.
But you talked about the evolutionary aspect.
Yeah, but there's more.
Well, okay, but then now you know if you wanted to talk about it, write a little note.
Yeah.
On there.
Was that all from memory?
Yeah. Well.
That's really good.
How did? And I don't remember, and so this is maybe part of my memory. But did you link leptin and sugar together?
Not really.
I think that may help you with that transition between some of those earlier slides when you talked about leptin and sugar and why those are important.
So the leptin and sugar.
Yeah. And you can definitely. So I liked the goal slide. And particularly the objective slide when you had the goal of the project.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe move that a little bit earlier.
Earlier?
Yeah.
Oh wait, the goal? Oh.
Or the objectives, or...
Oh, yeah. Okay. So like, I'm in a group of 4, right? So in our... actually, one second. We were planning to, like, I have the first, this slide, this slide, this slide, this slide, and this slide. Yeah, we're mainly like, we're going to talk together about like our sugar music. And then I was going to start my presentation.
So that was my point. You had a quote up there about...
Yeah, that was the first slide.
Well, but
yeah.
If that's in the presentation, you should either be both ready to talk about that.
Okay, got it. Right.
All right. Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.